Hey y'all, and welcome to today's Bold and Beautiful Chat. We start off with Quinn begging Eric to forgive her. Eric asked what was this all about. Ridge said moments for them were empty except for vanity. Brooke thinks she hears something, and Bill is going to have security check the gate and the grounds to see if everything's okay. At the wreck site, Coco seems to be okay, but RJ is unconscious and bleeding, and Coco calls for help. Brooke has a sinking feeling something is wrong. Eric asks how many times were there. Eric says that he knows it's not over with. And they say, Ridge and Quinn say there was no sex, and Eric said Quinn betrayed him. She broke their vows. Eric called Ridge by his birth last name because, Ridge was adopted. He was adopted by Eric. He was Stephanie's son, but not Eric's son. So when they got married, he adopted Ridge. And the ambulance came and got RJ and Coco had called them. And then Coco called Brooke on RJ's phone, letting her know about the wreck. And she and Bill are on the way to the hospital. And Ridge told Eric he went to San Francisco with Quinn to show Eric what an awful woman Quinn was. And while he was there, he found out differently that Quinn was a much better person than he thought. Ridge has always competed with Eric, Eric said, always taken Eric's women. Eric learned to be a good sport about it years ago, but not this time. Ridge got a text and hurriedly left from Eric's house, and he didn't explain to them that it was about RJ. He just hurried and left. And Eric pointed out to Quinn how Ridge just left her there, standing alone. RJ's injuries are a shoulder scalp and facial contusion. That's all they can find until more tests are run. Ridge and Bill ask Coco if she's okay, and she says yes. She remembers, she doesn't say it to them, but she remembers she was texting when the wreck happened. Quinn told Eric she didn't confide in him about what was going on with her and Ridge because Eric would make too much of it. Quinn asks why Sheila is still there, and Eric says he wants someone there that will tell him the truth. Eric lets Quinn know how disappointed he is in her. His marriage to Stephanie had some real bad times, he told her, and that's why he's been so successful at his business, because he spent so much time away from home and away from Stephanie. So he stayed at work and built his business up when he could have been at home, but chose not to because of the problems in the marriage. Quinn cried and told Eric he had given her life and that she loved him so much and didn't want to lose him. And she went on about just what he meant to her and all that. And she asked him to please forgive her and let's not lose what we have. Ridge asked Coco what she remembers of the accident, and they think that RJ was driving, but Coco admitted to them that she was the one driving. RJ starts to come around, and Brooke says that they need to get a doctor or a nurse because he's coming around. Brooke tells RJ that he was in an accident, and he asks about Coco and is she okay, and they say that she is, and she's standing there, and he's so glad that she's okay. Quinn said she's never felt more real. or excuse me, not more real. She's never felt more scared. She knows they can work through this, and she's crying and real upset and emotional. And Eric says, in a very gruff voice, he says, "I want you to leave." Quinn thinks he's talking to Sheila, and she kind of moves toward Eric in a loving way. And Eric says, "I'm not talking to you," then hollers for Quinn to leave. And Quinn is crying and tells Eric she will never stop loving him. And then she walks out the door, and Eric walks over to her portrait that's over the fireplace. And he's emotional, and he's standing there looking at it and looks like he's about to break down, and just very upset. And Sheila walks up behind Eric, and she puts her hand very gently on his shoulder. And when she sees that he's not going to push her away, then she lays her head towards the top of his back and just stands there like that. And that's how the story ended today. So I still think that for a while anyway, Eric and Quinn will try to make things work, but the show will move on and they'll break up, and you know, they'll go to new different people and all that. So anyway, have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.